a designated, often unobstructed area where parachutists, paratroopers, or airdrop supplies land. Now, if that doesn't sound like an action movie, I don't know what does. We saw Drop Zone, so you know what that means.
Now it's time for How Did This Get Made? We're gonna have a good time, celebrate some failure, not just be a hater, cause you know you wonder, how did this get made? Let's wallow in the mediocrity of subpar art. Perhaps we'll find the answer to the question, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? This is a show where we talk about the misunderstood classics. That's right. This week we are talking about the 1994 film Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes. It's kind of like Point Break, but less complicated and oddly more confusing. If you want to know what happens and you have not seen the movie, brief setup. You got Wesley Snipes. He is trying to transport this prisoner, Michael Jeter, to prison, but in the middle of their flight, they are hijacked by terrorists led by Gary Busey, who not only take the prisoner, but also kill Wesley Snipes' partner.
And brother.
And long story short, Wesley Snipes has to team up with a bunch of skydivers to uncover a plot of a former DEA agent who is using skydiving to break into big buildings. Anyway, welcome to the show, my two co-hosts.
Just you attempting to get through the explanation was incredible.
Oh my gosh. Please welcome Jason Mantzoukas and June Diane Raphael. How are you both?
Wow. I mean, just watched it. Just
finished.
I probably won't be the same for the rest of my life.
It's so interesting because I just finished. Well, actually not just. I say, it's 3 o'clock right now. I'll probably finish at 2:30. And then I immediately, and I mean immediately, needed a nap.
Yeah. It's exhausting.
And it put me to bed. I wasn't tired watching it, but like something happened to me where I was I gotta go to bed.
It makes you feel like you're breathing thin air in the atmosphere at 37,000 feet.
So many things happening in the sky
for no reason
that could happen on the ground.
Yep.
By the way, I'd also argue that this is a movie about parachuting that does not understand how parachutes work, especially in the third act, because parachutes are being reopened, closed, pulling people while they're walking. There's a lot of parachute work.
Sorry, Paul, I know you just said it, but it's already escaped my mind. What year?
Well, this is what I wanted to talk to you about.
Because it feels like the movie feels like its parachutes are brand new.
Well, that's the thing that's absolutely wild. I don't believe that parachuting is new, but it feels like they're talking about it like rollerblades.
Yes.
Like, do you know what this culture is?
Have you heard of it?
It feels like extreme sports, or something like that.
I'm going to ask, and I'm sure I'm wrong. I would have Googled this, but I had to go to sleep. Is skydiving a competitive sport?
I don't know. And I mean, I'm certain there must have been weirdos trying to do stunts and nonsense, but like the DC, the third act event that all of the teams from all over the country, including the good guys team and the bad guys team, are all at like a competition or an exposition or a showcase. I don't know what it is.
They get to parachute into a fireworks display, which seems ill-advised.
It's very dangerous.
Terrible.
The one spot you shouldn't parachute.
I would think.
And I mean,
the reason why, so here's the thing, because I was obsessed with the fact that like the big event was in DC, first of all. Like, why?
By the way, just for time's sake, not to timestamp this, I don't know when this episode will come out, but on the mall, on the reflecting pool, they're parachuting into the Washington Monument as we are currently tearing it out of the ground.
That's right. But here's the thing. I can understand. Well, can I understand? If there's the biggest event in the skydiving community, I can see it in like Hawaii or Costa Rica, some place where it's like, oh, the landscape is so gorgeous to look at. DC, Metro DC, one of the reasons they said, aside from it being the 4th of July, but one of the reasons they want DC is because they never have access to the airspace.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Because, and by the way, that the reason why that accident did just recently happen in DC.
Crowded airspace.
Very crowded airspace. So this is the moment that they can finally get to see the beauty of DC from above.
Well, I think that what we're meant to believe is that the skydiving event, them creating this geometric pattern of people in the sky,
and
is so
Jason,
lame.
one pattern.
It's for the people on the ground, not the skydivers. I don't think this is like, hey, we're going to get a great view. I think it's for the people on the ground to look up and be like, oh, I guess they're in concentric circles. My mind is blown. Like, I don't understand. Why did we think this was so cool?
It's for the people, but it's also for the skydivers. Like it's sort of like we're putting on a show, but we also get to audition to be in the show.
To be in the show. That seemed to be a big part of it. But here's my question. So they auditioned for it, and that's when during the audition sequence, that's when one of our teams, the good guys, one of them gets sabotaged midair.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
The second sabotage.
He's out. So
by the way, we are talking about the third act of this movie.
I know.
We will get back. We will get back to the front.
We'll go all the way back. Don't worry. But just know this. Then both teams, I guess, move forward to go.
There's a lot of people in the
there's a lot of
people.
Design, So then we're in the actual show, and to my surprise, it's at nighttime. Okay, but I guess when you see the fireworks. So why isn't there ever a shot though? When you see their sky suits, they have lights on them, which I thought was kind of cool. But we never see them from the audience's perspective from the ground.
The movie can't spend that time because the drop has nothing to do with the crime, right? The drop, like they just need to get up in the airspace so they can pretend.
Why can't we see? I know, but they do make that shape. Why couldn't we see that shape from the ground?
I agree 100% with you, June. And I also thought it was very strange. And I think the reason is because they're using this 4th of July event on the mall, at the reflecting pool, as if it is what they're jumping into. But the action of the movie is actually not taking place there. So I don't think they wanted to stock the mall with, I think that's just B-roll. I don't think they wanted to stock the mall with people, pay for extras, it'd be so big for our good guys and bad guys just to go to the DEA building instead of the mall.
Now I will say this,
you know what I mean?
We're not getting into politics here, but when this movie was shot, it looks like people are treating that mall disgustingly. Like there's a guy juggling fire batons in it. Somebody's like walking in it. Somebody bike riding in it.
Talk about drain the swamp.
Oh my
God. The swamp.
The single person in the pool up to his waist juggling pins on fire blew my entire mind.
I was obsessed with the guy, two people who were on bikes in the reflecting pool.
They were going upstream.
They were going upstream, like trying to ride their bikes upstream in the water.
Yeah. What was this
event? What the fuck is going on?
It felt like a Saturday afternoon. Now, here's what I'll tell you, because the original question that got us off on this, and yes, we'll be talking about skydiving a lot. When was skydiving invented? Well, people say the person who invented it, Leonardo da Vinci. That's right. Leonardo da Vinci conceived the idea.
Who's
from the movie that we did where
Hudson Hawk was
Hudson Hawk, was it?
Yeah, so basically the first official parachute jump was in 1797. 1797, and I will say that looking through the history of skydiving and jumping, it seems like the 70s became a very big part of like more recreational jumps. And then there was like this in the 70s, it was doing a lot more of these formations. And then according to this website, Skydive New England,
in
1982, that was a huge year for skydiving because they invented the 3-ring system, which was better to not have accidents. And it really does seem that 89 is the last year of true skydiving innovation, which was, and these are all ways to prevent you from dying. Like 83 and 89, basically the big inventions are things to prevent your shoot from not opening. But as far as
that seems important.
pop culture,
like safety features and like so it became something not just for like the military and or like true daredevils. It could be anybody could take a class on a weekend and you could skydive, you know.
Now let me say something because I know we've spoken pretty negatively about the movie so far, and I want to offer something positive. So for a few years, probably 2 years, I worked at Puck Fair in New York City, and one of the bartenders was a skydiver. He is from Australia, and the intense energy that was coming off of him and the sort of mania, I'll say it, behind his eyes, bright blonde hair, looked like Gary Busey.
You dated this person.
I didn't.
Okay.
Paul. But but they did capture a certain quality about these skydivers.
An adrenaline junkie.
Yes.
I agree. And I thought they did a great job of this. Only to be outdone, I would say, by Point Break. You know?
Yes,
another
of course.
Gary Busey skydiving movie about heists.
Yes.
By the way,
it's so weird.
By the way, Point Break came out 3 years earlier than this.
Earlier, that's what I was going to ask. Yes,
so this is like Point Break came out in 1991. This came out in 1994.
I feel like Busey was like, "Oh man, I'm bummed. I had to be a good guy in Point Break. I want to be one of the bad guys, so I'll do this one." I really want to say this, and I mean this in all earnestness.
Go ahead.
I think we are missing out on an opportunity. How have we done so few Gary Busey movies? I think he's got to have a library, a catalog of movies we should be doing.
Summer of Busey. Maybe it should be Summer of Gary.
God.
Son of Busey Summer.
Oh my God. Hot Busey Summer.
I agree.
Busey.
He is compelling on screen.
He's electric.
Absolutely electric.
His death in this movie is a great tight he is falling from a building, and you get a tight close-up of his face, and he is known to have a big mouth and a big jaw. Like, he is going for it. I did a movie. Character. Oh yeah, I did a movie with Gary Busey. And
whoa.
Yeah, and I was never on set at the same time, but when I first came to set, the lead actor had a neck brace on, and I said, "What happened here?" And he said, Gary Busey was flirting with my girlfriend in the movie, and he saw me as a threat because in the movie I'm her boyfriend, and he kicked me in the throat.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, by the way, there's that moment at the bar. Yes, there's a moment at the bar scene where he's excited about something. I don't know what's happening, and he kisses the woman on their team. That's her face. And I felt for sure that was not scripted. That was nobody signed on that.
That's what they call a classic Lucy Busey.
Okay,
that was 1,000% a Lucy Busey.
A Lucy Busey, indeed. Now I'll tell you this much. I want to put two things here because this is how I feel about this movie. This whole movie is Lucy Busey because this is Wesley Snipes at the peak of his career. Like, just listen to this. Like, he's doing Mo Better Blues, New Jack City, Jungle Fever, White Man Can't Jump, Passenger 57, Boiling Point, Rising Sun, Demolition Man, Drop Zone, right? So these are like, he is a box office star, and there is a
tax evasion.
Well, yes, that's coming. I will tell you.
I don't know if that's yet. I think that's coming.
That's later.
Yeah,
he did build a pyramid. I believe there is a pyramid. But I wonder
if these movies are the movies he didn't claim.
These are the paychecks he was trying to obfuscate.
Yes.
Now, I will tell you this, that there's an energy of him in this movie that feels like I am untouchable. I will do whatever I want, which means I'm going to wear what I want and I'm going to say what I want. Because when you open up on that scene of Wesley Snipes and his brother, Malcolm Jamal Warner, as they're in the car, I'm like, this wasn't scripted. This is just two guys. Yeah. I mean, listen to it.
You got to be sick of those tired 2-month relationships. Problem is, you're not meeting the right kind of woman. A woman who'll run with the wolves. Somebody who'll at least keep you interested.
Run with the wolves?
Yeah.
I mean, I told you about watching too much of that Oprah shit.
Come on, Pete. A little excitement's not gonna kill you. Jerry, I like the women nice, quiet, and dull.
You know what I'm saying? Not like that Mongolian feminist that you set me up with.
You don't think Mongolian feminist was scripted?
I mean, right? It was like, I was literally looking, I was like, this is the first time we're meeting these guys. There's nothing in here that gives me like any, and I'm like, and that's what this whole movie feels like. It just feels like Wesley Snipes is like, I'll drive a car like this sometimes. Sometimes I'm going to drive a motorcycle. And then when they ask me where my car is, I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, it's like, there's just like, he feels like he is running around this.
Thank you for saying that, Paul, because I almost rewinded and I was like, did I miss a scene where he lost his car?
Nope. No.
The movie is basically like, don't worry about it. You're dumb. Don't just let us cook. You know, it almost feels like they shot it, you know, over the course of years or something. And, you know, like it feels so, and this is a John Badham movie. This is a very good, like, journeyman director. This is like, I understand how we got to make this movie and why, like, a top of his game Wesley Snipes would be like, absolutely, I want to do this. A Point Break style action, you know, Daredevil. What's so interesting, though, is that he allowed himself to be scared. You know, like, he didn't like it. He didn't want, he wasn't like Keanu Reeves in Point Break he's just as much of a junkie as the bad guys are. You know what I mean? Like, he gets into it. But Wesley Snipes is not only bad at this, he's scared of it. You know?
And to me, the best part of this movie, and I want to play just a section of it, is Wesley Snipes' ADR lines or his grunts and groans as he's falling, because he does really go for it. He's like, well, here.
Wait! Come back! Come back! Oh, come back! Help me! I got you!
And it's all like,
help me! Help me!
I've never seen anyone so scared in a movie, and I loved it.
Well, what I loved about it too is, like, when we talk so often about, like, how modern action stars, your Vin Diesels, your The Rocks, your people are unwilling to lose a fight, unwilling to take a punch, unwilling to get knocked down, unwilling
to hit a woman in the face.
But Wesley Snipes is like, please let me be fearful. Let me be bad at this. Let me be. Right. And I'm like, this would never happen now, that he would somehow fall out of a plane and have to ask for help and be rescued by the woman who is like, who, by the way, he's first in a plane crash where his brother dies. And then he's immediately in a prop plane with the skydiving crew. And what's the woman's name? Yancey
Butler.
Butler just hits a button and drops him out of the airplane without telling him.
He's sitting like balled up with his knees to his chest. I'm like, it was such a emasculating pose for an action movie. Dropped like a bullet, like a sack of potatoes.
Well, that's the thing that's tricky about skydiving in action movies is, and I this is where I have sympathy for the movie. I mean, I guess Point Break was able to do it a lot more successfully, but there's so much goofy looking stuff, right? So it's like, you look pretty silly with your suit on. You look really silly when you're just flying down, like looking like a flying squirrel pose. And then once you have to put your parachute up, you look like a little kid. When you have someone on your back, that's funny and silly. You know, there's no way when you land on the ground, that's funny. Because you fall on the ground. Like, there's nothing, even when you're steering back and forth, it's pretty goofy. It's like there's nothing cool.
And then when there's a number of instances where someone needs to be rescued midair.
Yes.
And the person has to like, the only time it's cool is when the parachute isn't open and the person gets all tight and is like zoom.
Yes.
That's
there's one cool shot too of Gary Busey. I think one of the bad guys, thought it was him, when before he pulls his parachute out, he corkscrews down into a cloud, like truly and I was like, okay, that's cool. But that was it. It's
That's
just
it. And like when they have to like
hard.
rescue each other, they end up basically just trying to get into a 69 position.
Yes, they're always they're always
Yes,
throwing
so
their legs over.
crazy.
They're always doing like mid-air 69, and I'm like,
so crazy.
this is not cool looking.
Like when
guys.
she hooks her feet through his arms and then they kind of like do
Yes.
a somersault backwards. I'm like, what? I like, oh, she missed it. Oh no, I guess that was part of
That was it.
the rescue.
Well, the other weird thing is that when our bad guys land and start their heists in whatever buildings, I couldn't even follow what the fuck their plan was, but
Oh my
whatever
God.
building they're first on to do their first, when they find the
Break in.
undercover agents, I guess, when they get in there, they land on the roof. And what I found absolutely confounding is that nobody on the ground ever seems to notice.
Yes.
Giant. I mean, those things,
Huge
those parachutes are
parachutes.
20 feet
Yes.
long.
They're
Yes.
parachuting into the middle of cities.
Yes.
So it's like
Nobody sees them.
so obvious. It's so obvious.
Nobody
And
sees
by
Not
the
only
way,
nobody sees them, but like, in this movie, this is a movie where nobody sees or reacts to anything. In the opening of the movie, which we've discussed, Wesley Snipes and his brother are marshals. They're escorting a prisoner on a 747, and as a number of people say in the movie, there is a jailbreak in the midair on a 747. And what's happening is everybody's in their seats, and then whatever the timer goes off, and whatever 6 or 8 people just start putting gas masks on and loading guns. And everybody else in the plane is like, what's that? What's going on? And
What's
then there
going
are
on?
gunshots, and Wesley Snipes still is like, what's going on? Something's up. I feel like something's up. Nobody is good enough to be like, something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, no, usually the cop or the hero is kind of has like an intuition or an understanding.
The
But
only reason why Wesley Snipes gets up is because the flight attendant tells him
yeah,
that, that something's going on and she needs to bring it, or flirts with him. He gets up and falls. It's really, and by the way, I do want to spend some time talking about whether Wesley Snipes and his brother are good marshals.
oh, this is a great question.
Yeah, because, well, first of all, I was trying to also think like they do present Wesley Snipes when he is doing in the bathroom sequence later on, he takes on 2 guys. He's got a lot of moves, hand-to-hand combat. He's doing all this stuff. And I'm like, don't U.S. Marshals just escort people on planes? And aren't they just like armed security guards?
well, they're sort of. I mean, I think there's and somebody will correct me. I don't think they are air marshals, i.e., they're on airplanes just making sure
Right.
everything's okay. I think they're U.S. Marshals, like
Transporting prisoners for sure, but
yes,
even,
and like hunting down escaped prisoners, and
Okay, I
like
guess they're
Justified,
hunting.
like Raylan Givens on Justified. They
Okay.
are.
But they don't seem to have any control. Michael Jeter's sitting on an aisle seat. That Michael Jeter is the escaped or the prisoner that they're trying to protect from Evening Shade. That's how I remember him. He remember, like, that's how he's so burnt into my head because I
Evening
hated that show as a kid, but I just
Yeah.
remember him on that show.
Jesus.
But
Wow.
but like they don't seem to be,
And he's
in
your
any
classic nerd character.
Yeah.
He's a
Oh,
nerd.
beautiful.
They kidnap the nerd so that he's a computer hacker. Not enough was done with Michael Jeter because they keep forcing him to do skydiving, which is very funny.
Where because they
And-
need to force him to do skydiving to get him ready to parachute onto buildings so they can do the break-in to steal different
Yeah.
things, and they need him to be like modulated, like he needs to be calm enough to be able to then do his
That
computer
was
hacking.
funny.
It was
Can
so
I just
funny.
say though, I feel like there's easier ways to get into that building. I mean,
Gotta
the
be.
funniest,
100%.
funniest part was like they go through the trouble of having fake security uniforms on under their sky suits. It's like, well, you should have just tried to get in the building.
Or
that
maybe
way. Walk
if
in.
you need it, maybe one incredible skydiver gets access and then lets everybody else in on the ground. Like the idea that the entire team, including the computer hacker, who is not part of the team, they just stole from a prison transport. The fact that they need everybody to skydive is so funny to me in a way that is like
wild.
It's the same era, I feel like, was treating stuff like bungee jumping in a sense. Like I almost felt like, and now I guess it would be those squirrel suits. Those
right,
Yeah,
base,
it was
base
presented
jumping.
to us. It was presented to us as though it was like, oh, you can use a scooter, you can use your rollerblades, you can use, I guess you could walk, you could drive, you could take a bus, or you could skydive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's
the
like,
other thing is, don't they also like set up this moment where they meet this one guy and then he looks like he's falling off the building, like, oh, he's got a secret parachute
Yeah.
on.
You mean swoop, Paul? Do you mean swoop?
Swoop. I'm sorry, Swoop.
Oh,
Swoop, who won't even
Swoop
talk.
I fucking love Swoop.
Swoop from Homicide on the Street.
Oh, yeah.
But like Swoop won't talk to you unless you do a jump with him, and it's got to be a good jump. But when
Because
he
that's the distinction. Because he does do a jump with Wesley, and then he still doesn't talk to him.
He does at the very end. At the very
very,
end,
very
he
end of
calls
the
him by
movie.
his first name, and that is like, okay, he's in.
No, I don't want to
Right.
sound like my father, John Rayfield, but I couldn't tell one of these guys from the next.
Nope.
When they presented Swoop, like, oh, look at this character, this new character, I'm like, well, I'm so sorry. He looks exactly the same as the last 5 that I just saw.
And part of the problem was that we are like, for example, let's just continue to use Point Break as the thing. It is Gary Busey and Keanu Reeves are the police. They insert Keanu Reeves into the bad guy crew, right?
right as a surfer,
But in this
right.
movie, Wesley Snipes needs to have his own crew of so there's 2 different full sets of skydiving crews.
That's right.
So what you're looking at like 10, 11, sometimes 12 people in very similar looking jumpsuits.
who also have no real character. It's Gary Busey and it's the other woman. There's a bad woman and there's a good woman. And then there is like Swoop. And then everybody else is just like bald guy, this guy.
Jagger who gets killed.
Yancey's
Swoop,
ex,
Swoop, who's got a beard. There's good looking blonde guy. And there's little Frank Grillo, you know.
Well, it was just hard because it was also like at one point, Wesley's like really upset in that bathroom scene and has a line like, you fucked with my team, you fuck with me, something like that. And I was like, your team?
Yeah.
Your team?
I mean,
okay. Did I miss half of the movie?
Yeah.
What do you
Well,
do?
I mean-
And then he also doesn't really seem to skydive in that final sequence. Like, it doesn't lead up to him really being a part of the team.
He does. You're right. Until the very end.
With Gary Busey when he...
Yes, because the guy gets,
Well, can I
hurt.
ask, though, yes, how is it possible? So Gary Busey falls out, they fall together, and then Gary Busey goes shooting toward the ground, and then somehow, though, travels sideways into a car.
Into the truck that is being
the
driven
truck.
by his guy.
which
That's
is
right.
also padded. It's a padded truck. So they did have to put like a bunch of mattresses on all sides because it is a real stunt. And I was like, oh man, this is painful because they are clanking into the side of this like open-ended truck.
What I think is supposed to be happening, we're meant to believe that all the bad guys are going to parachute into this truck. And that's their getaway. Their getaway is this truck full of mattresses. But instead, Gary Busey just goes crashing through the front of it.
Somehow, against all physics, he turns sideways and starts to move sideways. It really made me laugh.
I also had a question about I want to go back to one thing.
Sure.
Physics in this movie and things that they're overcomplicated, right? There's a lot of overcomplications. We talked about how the skydivers are doing this not midair rescue, but like a midair prisoner escape plan, right? They put explosives on the emergency exit door, which has a handle that would open. And in my thought process, it would cause the same thing. If you were to open the emergency exit in the middle of a flight and 30,000 feet, you're still going to get the same thing. To put explosives on the door.
Oh, he's crazy. But my guess is you can't. They're trying to say like, oh, you can't open doors once it's at that height or once it's at that. You have to blow it. You have to blow it.
But I agree with you, Paul. There were things about that plan that really I couldn't stop thinking about it the whole movie because it was so bizarre. They wanted it to seem like Leedy, the nerd, was dead. Right? That he didn't make it out.
And that they were dead.
The
hijackers.
Which is why he had to bite off his finger. Michael Jeter's finger is bitten off, which is a really crazy moment. I was like, whoa. And I knew what they were doing.
It's a real Peter Pettigrew moment here. This is clearly the single finger absolutely stolen by J.K. Rowling for Harry Potter.
But I didn't understand, though. Like, so they say, oh, we found his remains. It's like, well, no, you found a finger.
Yeah.
Are we drawing conclusions that people are dead based on one finger? And then
also,
I
many people
was
saw what
confused too.
happened.
So many people
they
watched
landed.
that are alive.
Landed, yeah.
And why didn't they say? Because they said the hijackers were dead, but all those people also saw them jump out of the plane.
Yes, why didn't any single passenger on a full plane say, I saw 6 people jump out? What?
They looked like they had sky suits on, diving suits.
And the only reliable a person they can talk to is like an 8-year-old girl?
What? By the way, one of my pet peeves in movies, and this is just like, I've seen it a bunch, where they will write something for a little girl and it includes a stuffed animal and it's an important piece of the scene. And so she has stuffed animal on the plane. And then when Wesley Snipes goes to talk to her to ask her what she saw, he brings her another stuffed animal.
Oh, yeah.
Which is never going to replace the other one.
You can tell it's written that way in the script, but for whatever reason they cast, and that's like for a 6-year-old, 5-year-old, maybe 7-year-old. But then they cast like a 10-year-old.
Just a little too old.
Or an 11-year-old. And you're watching this girl snuggle with the stuffed animal. And I can't tell you the cringe I feel. I'm just like, oh no, you're too old to have that. And this scene where I'm supposed to feel like, oh, that's sweet. I'm asking so many questions about why you're interacting and you're in that type of dialogue with a stuffed animal.
My question would be, and perhaps a bit of a miscalculation in terms of what a girl this age would want, but nonetheless, a good thing to bring something for the girl in order to hopefully engender good feelings and get information that you need. But maybe take your sunglasses off.
Yeah.
Oh, he intimidates the hell out of her.
Maybe take your sunglasses off and look this girl in the eye. Make eye contact with her. It doesn't feel safe to be interrogated by a sunglasses wearing guy who's just giving you a stuffed animal.
As June and I have been coaches of AYSO soccer, one of the main rules in the book is don't wear your sunglasses when you're coaching these kids. They have to see your eyes. And Wesley Snipes, to me, is treating this girl like she's a 30-year-old woman. He's like, yeah, here's your stuffed animal. But she's been traumatized. I mean,
oh yeah.
You say you got the creeps seeing the bear. I got the creeps when they just did a lingering shot of her on the gurney being wheeled into the ambulance. I'm like, we don't need to see this little girl on a gurney for this long.
And by the way, I don't even want to talk. I still was confused about why they didn't just why didn't they go into the passenger manifest and find the names?
Well, they shut it down, June. The computer started to make it all wonky.
That's exactly what they were trying to do when the computer virus
I'm
hit.
sorry, I forgot about the computer virus. Okay.
This movie has Act 1 is a blast because it is this crazy plane
which I love, obviously,
heist that we're talking about. It's all of these kind of craziness, and then we get to one of my favorite, and I thought this was an 80s movie, but it's a little bit later, but nonetheless, I still love it. The location for where the skydivers hang out is, what is it called?
That bar.
The Sugar Shack or whatever that. It's not just a bar. It's like a living quarters. It is it's a warehouse. All of these movies are always putting people in what look like industrial buildings as homes. And this one's got it big time. And I loved all the time they spent in the airfield where our crew lives. The mother hen of which is one of my all-time favorites, Grace Zabriskie.
She's
Laura Palmer's mother.
So good.
Incredible. In so few moments, she is so memorable and so fantastic.
Well, they do something in this movie where I can't remember Yancey's character's name, Joe Crossman or something.
I think that's right.
Okay, something like that. And
I think Crossman is definitely right.
Crossman. Okay, but they do something. I know it was a genderless first name because there's that
because
trope.
it's a misdirect.
Yeah, it's a misdirect. And
Well, it was actually supposed to be a man too.
Oh, interesting. Well, I feel like this was the time where that reveal happened all the time. Where you introduce a character, first you're just talking about them. They get highly credentialed as this, as that, and the other thing. You don't want to fuck with them, and they're crazy, and they're this, and they're that. And then they know their shit, and this and that. And then she comes out.
Oh, it's Charlie from Top Gun.
Yes.
It's the model. What they're all chasing is that moment.
Yes. And this was no exception. And also, lots of times I watch the whole thing and I know where we're going and I'm still surprised.
Yeah. Oh, I always fall for
it's a woman.
And it's because it's like that riddle where it's like,
and aren't I a fool? Aren't I a fool?
Isn't it that riddle that ends with like the doctor says I can't operate on that? That's my son.
Gus did that to us. Gus did that to us, and he like really was so excited.
It does feel like that at every point. Now I will say that this part was written for a man, and they obviously changed it. And that's where Yancey Butler said, no, he's still got to hit me in the face because he was supposed to hit the man in the face. When the faulty parachute. She's like, why would you change it? Same idea.
If someone dropped me out of a plane, if a woman dropped me out of a plane,
I love her.
Without telling me, without ever having skydived before, with not even, I don't think he's even wearing a parachute. I think I would maybe punch her. I feel comfortable being like, if someone did attempted murder to me, I would
you have every right to punch her. I grant you the authority, Jason. You have every right to punch her.
It was a playful
in these set of
punch.
circumstances only.
Now, you might recognize Yancey because she was also our love interest in the Jean-Claude Van Damme film Hard Target, the Louisiana film that we did in New Orleans that time where they're running around the French Quarter.
Wow, Paul.
Well,
by the way, you know who I thought she was for a long time?
Who?
Oh, no, I mean a long time. I thought she was Jillian Michaels, celebrity trainer.
Did too.
Oh, yeah, she has a similar look.
Gone very MAGA. Similar look, but also similar energy and similar like vibe. And I was like, wow, Jillian Michaels started off as an actress. I had a whole narrative. I was like, that's great. And she's pretty good. Okay.
I couldn't get over how similar, needlessly so, she looked to the villain's woman, the woman on the villains team. I think her name is Kara.
Exactly the same.
She and Yancey Butler look so similar that I was like, why would you do this? Make it easy for us to tell again who is on the good guys team, who is on the bad guys team. Help us out. There's too many characters and a very confusing plot line. That's the other thing is we never know the bad guys' plan. We don't understand what it is they're doing. It's just that they have now a hacker and they can skydive. And then they're like, okay, we're stealing drugs. We're stealing secrets. We're stealing...
And we can steal everything because everything has a roof. Everything has a roof. So they can break into anything.
Has a roof.
Anything that's got a roof, they can get.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that I think is interesting too. Like, to me, as a lover of Point Break, these are not villains. They are criminals, right? You know, they have guns and obviously they don't kill people. That's a big part of Point Break, but they are violent criminals and there's a culture there that is tricky to get in. But in this world, we are to believe that skydivers in general, skydivers who are not bad guys, that are not doing anything illegal, are also equally as dangerous. Like if you go and sit in a skydiving bar where they're watching skydiving clips on TV, you will get your ass kicked because you don't belong there. It's not like because they treat it like a motorcycle bar.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They are a gang for no reason. For no reasons that are question marks.
Well, they're out of their minds. I found it very troubling when they're in that bar, and we know because we saw it, our gang took out one of their own. And the bell gets rung. And they all look at each other. And it's like, well, I can't remember. I think I wrote down how they phrased it. They say,
blue skies! Black death!
they say blue skies, black death.
Yes. What?
And they ring the bell and they say, and it's treated as though
And they say they'll ring the bell every hour.
And the crazy
That
thing about
seems a
that
little
moment is
bit
they all
over.
look around and it's like there's like a very pregnant sort of weighted pause and honoring of this person who's passed. And it's like, the feeling is like, well, they have to be here. They
Yeah.
have to do this.
Well,
they
and by the
have
way-
to protect us in some way. They have to be out there traveling the skies.
It's as
And
if,
it's like,
yes, they
no,
are the military or
Yes,
something.
you
They
don't.
are. Yeah.
You can all never do this again.
They literally are in a drop zone in Fort Lauderdale that
Drop
looks
zone.
like a family vacation spot. They are
Yeah.
in like there's a scene
There's
where
nobody
you know
needs
like
to do this.
I've done the thing and where you get into the tube and you put on the suit and you're
Oh,
in
yeah.
there and there's footage of it that's embarrassing. It's hard. It is hard. And
Are
I
you
was
willing
like,
to say that you'll post that footage?
Sure, I would. I
Maybe
did it
you know
for-
what? You should post that footage if at some point when we're raising money for something. Use
Okay,
it as a,
yeah,
use it as
yeah,
a goal.
that's
Yes.
behind the paywall type of footage.
Okay. Wait, do we have a paywall?
I don't
We
know,
don't.
but if we did, we should put that.
We're
there.
gonna make a paywall
premium
just
content.
for that video only.
And by the way, it's not even that juicy. It's just me not being able to fully, like, I felt the frustration of the instructor being like, why aren't you getting this? And because
And
I
is
thought
it that
like,
you have to engage your core and kind of that's what I imagined.
all I'm
just
going to
to
say
keep
is when I
everything
saw
out.
Wesley Snipes have a hard time with it, I was like, got it. Got it.
Well, it's interesting because they are that all of that stuff before obviously Washington D.C. happens. Everything else is in Florida, I believe. They
Yes.
are, and
Which makes sense.
it is very Florida coded, which I really
Oh,
enjoyed
I
because
did
that's
too.
what feels trashy about it in the best possible way. Because I just want to be very clear, Florida is trash. So for me, what I really needed in this movie, and I'm absolutely mind scrambled that I need to ask for it. I needed one scene of exposition where Gary Busey is like, I worked for the DEA, I got fired or whatever, dishonorably discharged, whatever it is. And I'm assembling a group of skydivers to do crimes. And so that these guys are like, okay, I'm in. I needed to see him assemble his team.
But why? Like, I mean, that's the other question
because it
too.
would have helped me understand
No.
what the
No,
fuck
he's
was
asking
going on.
why.
I know.
He's asking why does Gary Busey want to do this?
Like,
Why
no,
did he
like-
turn
like-
on his own government?
but
why?
I'm asking.
Oh, that's easy to answer. He's Busey, baby. It's a classic
That's a
Lucy Busey.
Okay,
Like,
got it.
Like, but here's the thing. I don't mind that this is a guy who worked for the DEA and that he turned on his people. That's fine. What I am confused about is, was he the person who's like skydiving? Like, because
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
that's the bridge too far. That to me has so many more questions. It's like, and the idea is that like, we know that Michael Jeter is a very capable computer hacker. He's been hidden from the government for a long time. Oh, I have a question about this
No,
too.
he's not hidden from the government. The
Oh.
government is hiding him from the bad guys who are
From the
trying to
bad
kill
guys.
him. But inexplicably, the government is hiding him by putting him in the general population of a gigantic prison. That is not hidden.
And also letting him like feed cats. He was the most
Oh my
aggressive
God.
person out there. And why did that hawk? Why do we have a close
Why
up
was
of a
that?
hawk?
Oh
on?
my God, thank you.
Hawk!
They
I
kept
thought he was like a controller of animals.
I did too.
They kept cutting back to that hawk as if the hawk was going to be somehow instrumental
Yeah.
in
Yes.
killing him, saving him, doing something. And I think it's just there to establish for us in
Flight.
this movie, things will fly.
Okay, so I thought for sure once I realized what the movie was about, I was like, because I also was like, he has some special connection to animals, and I can't quite
He loves
figure out what it
cats.
is. They seem to be helping him, and then once it became clear he's very scared of being out there flying, I thought, oh, his relationship and dialogue with animals or birds is going to help him
Yes.
in
Yes.
a skydiving type of scenario. That never came
Nope,
back.
not at all.
No,
You know what
no.
I loved about Busey in the first heist? The first heist where they go and they steal the information about the undercover agents, that one.
Mhm.
They get in there and everybody immediately starts going to do their job. The guy goes to do the computer hacking. This one's going to do that. This one's going to do that. It's clearly Busey just riffing. He keeps going around to everybody and asking them if there's anything he can do to help.
I didn't notice that.
Can I help with anything? You're making me nervous. Would you just get away?
What can I do to help?
You let me know. You let me know if there's anything I can do to help. And you can see almost on the actors' faces, they're like, how do I respond to this? I don't need help. I'm hacking. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever.
This is why this movie has a lot of
my God.
To me, and I've read John Badham's book. I like John Badham, but I feel
really?
like John
that's
Badham's
cool.
book is great. Just about directing. Before I directed anything, my first time I ever directed anything, I read that book and it really helped me. But the way that this movie feels like they were running roughshod all over him, because it's like also the way like Wesley Snipes fights is comical. Like when he goes to the bathroom when they're beating up Swoop in the bathroom, and like Wesley Snipes is ready to throw down with hard karate, but it's right at the cusp of before fight scenes got really good, and it's sort of like he's just like bam, bam, like he's just doing and I do think that I like that he's always kicking one person to the left, giving them a chance to recover, and then going after the other guy and then getting back. Like he's getting business done. He's knocking it off.
I do think we kind of needed those sequences, and end the one with the two women, with Yancey and whoever that other woman was.
Oh, the copy machine.
My God. I loved it. The
copy machine was so great. And I laughed so hard when the other taller woman was sort of up against the wall, and she seemed like she was just taking a second, I guess. It didn't seem like she was mortally harmed at that point. And then Yancey took the photocopy machine. And it doesn't move that fast.
No.
And you could tell that thing is fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And by the way, also, where was it plugged in? And she just runs with it and rams it into her. And that kills her.
She smashes her face through the glass in the photocopier too, right? Because
but the glass only kind of breaks. I don't think
I thought it was like a smash.
I don't think so, because then it still works.
Right.
The machine still works.
I mean, listen,
somehow.
it's a very well built machine. I will say this, because
they don't build them like that anymore.
They really don't, because after all that damage, it still does flawless copies. It collates. It collates all those copies.
Oh God! I laughed so hard when those papers came out. But what I was going to say is, like, you need sequences like that, because the other moments that are supposed to be really thrilling and engaging, which happen in the sky, are parachutes kind of getting caught in things.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of like the strings getting caught when he goes into the electrical wire. To be quite honest, I couldn't really understand what was happening up there.
No,
I couldn't understand how Gary Busey got him and pushed him
and was controlling him.
It's a mix and match of real stuff and fake stuff, like on a set, like where and so they have to make these like weird jump cuts where you have to like kind of miss about 15 to 20 seconds of important like action connection, where you're like, okay, because we can't really crash a human being into these electrical wires, but we can get a guy close enough to them in a long shot, and then we have to cut to something that just is exploding. And by the way,
it's just hard because ultimately the action is just seeing
somebody tangled.
Yes.
Somebody tangled.
Oh no, they're tangled.
Yes, it's like it's tangled
like
is cumbersome. It's like
it's just hard.
It's like getting someone stuck by putting on a sweater. It feels like, no, I know their head's in there. They just got to get out.
Are we jaded because we've seen like Tom Cruise defy the impossible in Mission Impossible movies?
Jason, we saw The Impossible 3 years earlier in Point Break. That's the other thing. You can't do a skydive movie and go backwards. You can't be like, you remember like what set the standard for skydiving? And by the way, this movie is also in direct competition with another movie coming out called Terminal Velocity, which is a Charlie Sheen movie. So they're having this like kind of race to the finish line.
Wait, is that also skydiving?
Yes, it is. A maverick skydiver and a former KGB agent team up to stop the Russian mafia from stealing gold, starring Charlie Sheen, Natasha Kinski, and James Gandolfini.
Okay.
I watched this many times, and I would love to do it on the show. Yeah,
I feel like I've seen that movie.
That sounds great. Also, by the way, maybe it's a skydive summer. Let's spend guys. Do you want to spend the summer mid-air with me?
I would love to get to some more skydiving movies. There's a lot out there.
I bet, especially from this era where somehow it was decided this is cool. This is exciting.
Yeah.
This is dangerous. This is whoa. This era of like, skydiving and it is cliffhanger. Rock climbing.
I think like if we open it up to like things like that, like extreme summer, we could probably find a lot of like.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, honestly, you did make me wonder and ask some questions about skydiving because I was like, well, it seems like you can in the movie sort of travel around up there like it's a freeway. Like, oh, I want to get over there, so I'm just going to go to the left. Not with your parachute open, just as a person flying through the air. Like you could maneuver through the sky like you would in a car or a bicycle or just walking. And I don't know, is that true? If I see Paul struggling with his parachute, I just get over there?
I think it's very difficult, but I think an expert could get close enough to you to maybe help or to only at a certain height.
Below a certain height, you're dead.
I think it's just RIP.
We're gonna have a lot of skydivers calling, but I believe
would be terminal velocity. You're going too fast. You're gonna die. You're gonna hit the ground.
I think the idea is this: like in all these movies, something goes wrong and someone's got to save them. Although Yancey does she does have that switch where she drops an inexperienced man out of a plane and then scoops him up, but she waits there like, I'll give it a couple minutes.
She's also meant to be one of the best there ever was. Because Wesley Snipes is basically like, hey. This was an inside job. Somebody kidnapped this guy and jumped out, and people are like, jumped out of a 747 at 36,000 feet? That's impossible. Nobody would do that. So the FBI and everybody are like, your brother did it. So part of this is Wesley Snipes trying to clear his brother's name, even though there's so little.
Yes, and that does also seem to be let go of at some point.
Yes.
Jason, before we go too much further, I do just need to tell you, because I know I'm going to get this on the mini episodes. Terminal velocity is the maximum constant speed of free falling when an object reaches the downward pull of gravity equal to the upward push of air. So that is actually the moment where you don't have to pull your pack, because that's the kind of
where you can
moment
just exist
and
float. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And so
By the way, no, I just wanted to. That's interesting. I just wanted to go back to everyone blaming Malcolm Jamal Warner for. By the way, R.I.P.
R.I.P. And I got to tell you, Malcolm Jamal Warner, very big part of my life, because I wouldn't have gone to NYU without his character, Theo Huxtable, going to NYU.
Oh, wow.
It was the only school he applied to, and it was only because Theo Huxtable went there.
And when I went to go see a live taping of The Cosby Show, I raised my hand and asked him a question. And I said,
Did he? Would you ask?
About NYU, or?
No, I said, do you really play basketball?
Oh, that's so
great. It's so cool to me.
What did he say?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so cool to me that The Cosby Show is so important to you in your life.
It was. I think what it was
that
so interesting.
Cosby is so woven into the fabric.
Oh, I love it. We got to get this guy out. We got to get this guy out.
Well,
he's out. I guess he is out.
Yeah. I mean, it just kills me that Malcolm died the way he did.
God.
Oh.
Anyway, that's
in a heartbreaking. Just a devastating.
And from everybody that I've heard from, is just one of the nicest,
sweetest men,
best guys.
Sweetest men. And it's just a good reminder when you're in a riptide, just don't try to swim to shore. Swim parallel.
I got caught in a riptide in Mexico and genuinely had to be rescued.
Did you know to swim parallel?
I started to drown. I did know, but the riptide was so wide that I kept going and then trying to get in, going and trying to get in. I knew to swim parallel, but it was so long that I exhausted myself trying to swim parallel and get in. And then I had to call. I started screaming for help, and thank God was rescued. But genuinely started to swallow seawater. Was active.
How old were you?
36?
Oh, wow. Okay. No,
I mean, let me be
by the way, that's more scary, because it's like you have all your faculties.
I knew what was happening. I was like, I'm now starting to drown because I'm unable to stop taking water in every couple of breaths. So I'm now swallowing seawater every 2 breaths, which is the beginning of drowning. This is crazy.
Oh God, Jason.
And then
I'm
I
so
had,
upset.
for years, I had that dream of that experience every night.
Oh my God. That is
Oh,
so, I'm having
God.
anxiety just
Me
hearing
too.
it.
Me
Oh,
too.
yeah. No, I don't fuck
Yeah.
with the water. I don't fuck with the water.
I don't really either. And
Yeah.
and I was caught in a couple of really, really rough waves when I was like a teenager. Like I'm talking post hurricanes in New York and June, over the summer where it's like you'd go out and be excited for 12 foot,
Yeah,
13
for like a
foot
rough
wave.
surf. Yeah.
I was like
Yeah.
thrilled to find out about big waves, and then I had a couple bad experiences. Anyway,
I will
Malcolm
say that
Jamal
one of
Warner-
my favorite moments was, I mean, not favorite, but one of the funniest moments is I was out in the water with my children, June's children as well, and when I was swimming with them, they got hit with a rough wave and it just ripped the bathing suit off my youngest. It was such a moment of like what happened? That's the power of waves. It could rip your
Oh
pants
my God.
right
I
off.
feel like some of the one of the
yeah.
very, very first times I saw boobs was on the beach
Oh,
when
yeah.
somebody was body surfing the big waves
Yeah.
and a woman in a bikini hit the wave took her all the way into the shore. So her bathing suit got knocked down. And so when she stood up, she didn't know and her boobs were out. And I was like, what is happening?
That's honestly
this
what
allowed?
happened. That's what happened to me with one of the bad waves I hit. I was taken in so far.
Yeah.
And I went in like a bullet. Like people are traveling through the sky like bullets. That's what I was doing, like a bullet, so fast onto the shore. I was knocking into moms and toddlers who were standing there. I was like going through legs. Those people were taken out. And I ended up on the shore with my bathing suit completely twisted around me. Seaweed. I mean, it was like, it was a sight. Anyway, I was starting to say this before, but why did Malcolm Jamal Warner's character, Pete, I think, or no, Wesley Snipes is Pete, whoever he is, why did he take so much heat for what happened? It seemed that he was blamed more than the hostage, more than the hijackers.
And when they call that out, he goes, "Look, man, they're just trying to blame someone for this plane crash." It's like, what about the terrorists who put the bomb on the door? There is forensic evidence that shows that there was a bomb on the door.
I agree. I think what they were trying to say, maybe, was that he was an accomplice. And that he had fired a gun on the plane.
Oh,
and
I missed that.
And
okay, so they thought he was working with them?
They thought maybe he was, I don't think that, again, this entire plot line goes away. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get any further into it. But I felt like part of what they were saying was about the fact that people on the plane saw him opening fire, and that was he part of the problem?
I
don't know.
Even though there were 5 people in full skydiving outfits.
Fully.
And someone also got their finger eaten off.
Oh my God.
Like, it seems like only 2 people flew out the door, one of them being Malcolm Jamal Warner, and then the another random.
Well, why wouldn't you say, like, okay, we found, what's his name's, the nerd's finger. So we can identify it, but they're instantly like, he's dead. Nobody is like, it has bite marks on it. It looks partially chewed.
No, they're not going to go that deep. They have no time.
That seems very weird.
We talked a lot about the acting in this movie, and I want to call out one actor in particular for just, they always say there's no small parts, small actors, right? And, you can make a big difference in a small part. I don't know if you guys recognize this, but I rewound it twice because I found it to be so enjoyable. When our good guy gets caught in a parachute malfunction and is seemingly fine.
Wait, Wesley Snipes? Which good guy?
Swoop's friend. Because Swoop goes and rescues him.
So many of them.
Grace Zabrisky's son?
the young guy.
The young guy. The young guy who gets hurt.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
When the young guy gets hurt, they're in the back of the ambulance.
Oh, yeah.
And the 2 other skydivers are there and they're trying to take care of their friend. And the EMT is like, he goes, "No one rides in the back."
Yeah.
No one. And he yells at them like their friend is dying. And they're like, we're family. He's like, no one right. He hits it twice, and it was
For no reason.
No reason to be that aggressive.
And then the kid comes to kind of consciousness and is like, you guys go. You have a jump to do.
Yeah.
What? You have just been like dead.
You were
just saw
dead.
you die.
You didn't have a heartbeat.
We're not jumping. What are you
But
talking about?
by the way, can I ask you something? I would expect Jess to know CPR.
All of them.
I don't know why nobody did a chest compression.
Nope.
Now, I know this was like, we don't do mouth to mouth anymore.
But this was then.
But right, this was the time of mouth to mouth, but like there was never only mouth to mouth.
The other thing was there was an ambulance on site. So cool. So you saw the organizers be like, send the medic. But like the people who are in the air with parachutes make it to the ground first, extricate themselves from their parachutes, get into the water to rescue this kid, I can't remember his name, and start doing, like, they are there so much faster than the emergency medical responders that I was like, this is not a good look for the organizers of this event.
No. First of all, the organizer of that event, with he's like wearing he's like a Leisure Suit Larry character. His flight suit is like unzipped down the middle. It is a very bizarre look, and I love it. And I loved everything about the guy. And I know that guy is real. I know that guy has to be a real dude. Like, he's like, I actually consulted on that movie. They let me act in it and everything.
I felt like all of the skydiver, because there's a ton of skydiving in the movie, actual skydiving, with both a 9-point star and a 24-point star, just so everybody knows and understands what we're talking about.
Jason?
Yes, please,
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
The 24-point star was cool. The 9-point star was cool. But is that all? What other?
That's it.
Well,
and you mentioned the lights earlier. They light up.
Yeah, can we do anything else with our bodies up there?
Nothing. Well,
we
you
can't
have
make
to remember
any other shapes.
Well, here's the thing. I think you have to remember they're making shapes that are meant to be seen from the ground.
Right, but why not get us so many people up there that we're doing the American flag?
Oh, by the way, I love that. But I think we are in 1994. I think we're years away from that being possible.
Yeah. I mean,
and I mean that. Like I feel like that's some shit that they would do now that like would be on a Red Bull channel, where it's like they launched 300 people into low orbit to do the American flag.
You know what? Obviously, there's so many things to cover here, but let's also give a voice to the people who absolutely love this film. It is now time for second opinions.
Paul and Jason and June talk a lot about what makes a movie good or not, but everyone knows they're actually full of shit. We need a second opinion. Someone that knows what they're talking about. We need a second opinion. We need a second. Oh, give me a second. Oh, we need a second opinion.
Thank you, Wolves of Glendale. Now, there are 246 total reviews. Not a lot. That, in the grand scheme of doing the show, that's a low number. 69% are 5-star reviews. 69% are 5-star reviews. And this is the one that really sticks out to me. And it's a visual, so please picture it. It's a picture of Yancey bedside with Wesley Snipes when he's like in the gurney.
Yeah.
And it says, the title is End Scene, Pete and Jesse. And this is from 2026. I say at the end of the 1994 movie, Pete was on the stretcher and Jesse came over and took care of him and he got grown closer together. 5 stars. So this is just a person that just wanted to show you that he felt at the end of the movie, our two characters who didn't like each other grew closer together.
Yeah.
I don't remember them not liking each other.
They seem to be friends.
They seem to be very, bunch.
She was mistrustful of him because he's a cop and she is on parole, so she thinks he's out to get her. But then very quickly they're buds. They're working together.
I just love that this person wrote a review just like he liked that there was a happy ending for Wesley Snipes. Bailey writes, Great overlooked film. I got this movie eons ago on VHS, and I was happy to get it on DVD. This is a fascinating look at the subculture of skydivers. I'm not into skydiving myself, being one of the why jump out of a perfectly good airplane kind of people, but it's a good thriller with some humor and some interesting characters. It even has fight scenes that I don't find tedious. 5 stars.
Wow.
Doesn't find those tedious.
I didn't find them tedious either, actually. Like,
No.
I
No,
will
they're quick.
say this, they're quick, and I will say this for the movie. God damn it. I don't know if I'm okay. I'm not okay. But I didn't find this movie to be hard to watch.
No, it was pretty easy.
Not at all.
And I will say that I watched it under difficult circumstances. Like, I had to break it up. I realized today, like, oh shit, I had to go do 2 different things across town. And so I was like, I'm not going to have time to drive and watch this. So I watched this in a Waymo by myself.
Wow.
Yeah. Cross town one way, cross town the other
Actually,
way.
the best way to watch it, no waymo. I mean, I think
Not
because you're
bad.
moving too. Yeah.
Yeah,
this one
and
we
it
got
was
from,
not bad.
This one we got from Letterbox, which I just like it because it's sincere from Commander Blossom. I watched this cool movie back in 2020 with my dad, who has now passed away. 5 stars.
That's it. Okay.
That's it.
Hey.
That's it. A lot of odd ones
These
in
are
here.
just statements, really.
Just statements. And I'll end with Jeff Burnham, who says, at the tail end of one scene, Wesley Snipes pantomimes shaking an aquatic creature out of his pant leg onto the floorboard of his car, stomping it to death. It's a very strange thing to see a man do in the front seat of a pristine 1965 Ford Mustang. Yet, I probably wouldn't have given it a second thought if I saw a guy do the same thing on the Chicago public transit. 5 stars.
I don't
Again,
wait. What body of water is he coming out of?
I don't know, but again, all I'm
Chicago.
saying is that these
are
reviews
weird.
are all.
I guarantee if we did a little bit of forensic research, Gary Busey wrote all of these interviews.
I was going to
All
say,
of
this
these
feels like it's all from one person.
These are classic Lucy Buseys.
The other thing I want to just point out is this screenplay was written by the same person who wrote High School Musical.
Great. Perfect.
And this is a quote that I needed to share with you both. I don't know if you knew this, but the music was done by Hans Zimmer.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I saw that.
And people have said that this part of the score sounds identical to the Pirates of the Caribbean,
Which he also did.
which he also
Yeah.
did. I mean, listen to it. And Zimmer was once talking about the film, and he said this: Drop Zone was written just for fun. I was being reckless, nothing to prove, nothing to lose. The director was just happy I was working with him. Remember, I come from rock and roll. At the same time, I grew up with classical music, so I'm torn between the two. Drop Zone, I could do both. It never hurt. You know, with some scores, you come away with a lot of scars. In Drop Zone, there weren't any. It was just a blast.
You know what? Great.
I agree, Zimmer. And we'll drop it in here. But when I started the movie,
Yeah.
I knew I was in for a good time because there's like sunset, whatever B-roll, and there's that 80s, 90s era electric guitar
Yes.
that just kind of like weaves its way through.
Yes.
And I was like, we're going to have fun. This is going to
And
be
we
good.
did. And we
You know?
did. Ultimately.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did.
I would have loved it just a little bit more with a little bit more understanding what
Yeah,
the
of
fuck
course.
was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
Course,
But otherwise,
of course.
boy, was everybody doing their best to have a good time.
Yep.
And, if you want to not just hear us talk about the movie, but you want to ride the movie, you can still do that. Paramount Parks, now owned by Cedar
What?
Fair, do have a ride based on the movie. It was called Drop Zone Stunt Tower. Now it is called Drop Tower Scream Zone. But it is the ride that was made for the movie.
And it still exists.
And there was a sequel made by the stunt man, the skydiving coordinator for this film, called Cutaway, with stars Stephen Baldwin.
Boy,
By the way, made its money back, made over $64 million.
I bet this movie is huge in skydiving circles by both 9 points and 24-point circles.
Any final thoughts? I know we have to wrap it up tight. So we
loved it. I loved it.
Loved it.
I thought it was great. Let's do more. Let's
Lucy Busey.
Lucy Busey. The Buse is loose.
How did this get made?
That's our show. Thank you so much for being Tandem Skydive partners with us today. Now, we have some big news. June is starring in the brand new Nick Kroll animated series called Mating Season. Jason Mantzoukas is in it as well. It is on Netflix right now. And if you watch that and you want to watch something else, you can also check out Black Monday, which just came to the service just a couple of weeks ago. Plus, How Did This Get Made is coming back to Largo in early June. And then this summer, we'll be doing a lot more live shows. So if you've not signed up for our mailing list, make sure that you do. But if you just need to see me and Jason, we'll come out and see a dinosaur show June 26th. We'll be doing a show in LA. We will also be in New York on the 12th and the 13th. And for all of you who are giant fans of the Dumpster episode of the Chris Gethard Show, on the night of the 11th, Jason, Chris Gethard, and I are going to do a one-night only show of the Dumpster Show. What will it be? You got to come. You got to go check it out. The Del Close Marathon. Also, the Del Close Marathon, we're going to be doing Match Game 76 on Saturday night. You can come see amazing shows all weekend. It's going to be a blast. New York, we'll see you there in June. Just head over to ucbtny.com. You can figure it out. Or just go to my website. If you've not checked out the brand new trailer for Elle, what are you doing? The first teaser trailer has dropped for June's new show, which is coming out in this July. And I want to tell you, you get a choice here, because if you want to follow through on us doing an extreme sports summer, well, then send us some recommendations for adrenaline junkie movies on our Discord at discord.gg/hdtgm. You can also submit corrections and omissions for this episode on our Discord and leave us a message on our new voicemail line at speakpipe.com/hdtgm. You could just do it from your computer. It's great. No more phone, no more costs, anywhere around the world, wherever you are. Speakpipe.com/hdtgm. We will pick the very best messages to respond to on next week's Last Looks episode. Remember, people, if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please subscribe to our feed. That's very important. It's a very big metric in this world of podcasting. All you got to do is hit a button. I'm not asking for anything more than that. And it helps us, and we really appreciate it a lot. And lastly, I have to give a huge thank you to our behind-the-scenes team. I'm talking about our producers, Scott Sonny, Molly Reynolds, our engineer, Casey Holford, and our social media manager, Zoe Applebaum. And we will forever be grateful to the one and only Avril Halley. That's all I got, people. See you next week on Last Looks. Bye for now.
How did this get made?